The long march to victory, man, that sounds great. But it comes with some defeats. It comes with some retreats where we got together ourselves, regroup, think, recourse, and then go on the path that we know is going to work for us in that moment. And again, that's going to come with some rainy and gloomy days. Gentlemen, what's going on? It is a rainy, gloomy, tiring day. But as men, we accept not only the sunshiny days, but we accept the rain-filled, gloomy days as well, knowing that there is this inevitable lesson to be learned. This is the Better Man channel, where we choose to march in victory. I like that. That has a resonating sound with me. To march in victory. We choose to be sovereign over our own lives. We choose to look at life, every situation, as a competitive edge. What edge can I have in this situation that allows me to rise the ranks, that allows me to become a better version than I was yesterday, allows me to be optimal? Marcus Aurelius said that life is warfare and it's a long journey from home. Think about that. Life is a warfare and a long journey from home. I read that the other day, and the key word in there that stuck with me was home. And I started thinking about the symbolism in home, the symbolic meaning of home. There is that literal home, or childhood home, have you, or the comforts of that. And hopefully we all experience that in one form or another. Hopefully we have at least a few memories from our childhood that brings back a comforting home life. And to me, I had a good home, but when I think about that, it reminds me of that Saturday morning cartoon eating a bowl of cereal, except I didn't eat cereal. I would get cookies and milk. I love that. And watch Garfield, watch Ninja Turtles, some of my favorite cartoons. And so when I think of home, you know, that innocence where you return to that age of, you know, from what I remember, around 6 to 11, before I started getting to that kind of preteen and adolescent and girls and sport years. Those were the good years. I didn't think about anything. There were no worries. It was just caught up in that present moment. What am I enjoying right now? What am I doing right now? And that, to me, reminds me of home, what it means home, when there was nothing else to worry about. There were no struggles. There was no idea that I had to achieve this or do that or go here and be that. There were no struggles. There was no stress. And Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoics, is saying life, the realities of life outside of that 4-year-old to 10-year-old watching cartoon mentality, is warfare. It's not sitting on the couch, comfied up in your favorite blanket watching Garfield. There's a war going on there. There's battles. There's violence. It's very arduous endeavors that we must partake in order to actually function in life. And it's a long journey from home. As we mature and grow up and we're thrown out into the real world, we realize that life in reality and partaking in the day-to-day activities that are required to live and exist in this society is definitely a long way from home. It's a long way from Saturday morning cartoons. And I think, and especially in today's climate, we have a lot of people that are just wanting to cuddle up into the couch and watch their Saturday morning cartoons. They want to be in that symbolic comfort of home and not face the realities of life that all great men, all great people have said that exist. Life is hard. And if we want to begin to experience a rewarding life, we've got to be prepared to go to battle. That's it. A simple form, and the simplest statement I can say is that if you want to be a better man, get ready to go to battle. It's not easy to get in shape. It's not easy to change your finances. It's not easy to find the right relationship, whether friendship, business, casual, intimate. It takes work. Life is warfare. What are we going to do to prepare ourselves so that we're ready to go to battle? And as men, again, That should resonate with us. That's our innate nature, this intrinsic drive to compete, to be better, to be stronger. And if you don't have that, it doesn't mean that you're any less of a man. It means that you need to work on that. We've been coddled. We've been kind of marginalized and pushed to the boundaries in what our true essence is. So again, definitely that's going to begin to erode and decompose. But we can begin to work on that and build that back up. It's just like a muscle. Men who have been pushed to the boundaries and masculinity has been deemed toxic, we haven't been exercising our muscles. And so that atrophy, they're beginning to decompose. We're becoming weaker, literally and figuratively. We are the strong, dominant gender that's supposed to walk in that. And again, I don't mean that in any chauvinistic, arrogant, asshole way. It's true. Men are stronger. Why? There's a reason for that. It's because we're supposed to utilize that strength. And if we're not doing it, we're losing part of who we are. And again, thank God we don't necessarily live in an age where just to go get food or just to protect my woman or my own or my family, I have to walk outside and start slinging arrows and spears at people to defend what's mine. Thank God we live in a fairly comfortable age, but we shouldn't lose that capacity to be the type of man that can invoke violence if needed, invoke strength if needed. If you come into my house at 3 a.m. and try to get me and mine, do I have the strength, the mentality to say, this is a warfare, by God, this is mine? You better watch out. And that's in that literal, in the moment sense, but I mean all around. Life is a warfare at work. Life is a warfare in your relationships. Life is a warfare in just dealing with life in general. We have death. We have loss. We have those hardships that come unexpectedly. Are we prepared? Not only physically, but mentally. Do we have and possess that stoic mindset that, I'm going to love my fate, amor fati. No matter what comes my way, I'm going to love it, and then I'm going to own it. What the hell can I do in this situation? Whether it's a desirable situation or not, it's happened, and I'm old enough, mature enough to know that it's not always Saturday morning cartoons. Life is difficult, and I'm not going to lay down and be a victim. Life is warfare. I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be the commander of my own unit. I'm going to be the guy that stands up and has that victor mindset over the victim mindset. Because when we get caught up in that poor, pitiful me mindset, it becomes very difficult to get out from under that. And we start looking at everything as a victim mindset. And that becomes our perception, the lens that we look through. And we've got to remove ourselves from that. We have to take a step back and say, it's not always going to be the Saturday morning cartoons. It's not always going to be comfortable. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be to my liking because, God, there's nearly 8 billion people on this planet. And who the hell do I think I am that my own opinion, my own perception outweighs all of theirs? Maybe I'm wrong. Hell, maybe I'm right, but just that's not working for me in this situation. How can I step back and strategize so that I begin to deploy and implement the tactics in here that I know will work? Instead of saying, poor, pitiful me, I see life as a warfare, a game of chess where I need to take charge of my life and begin maneuvering the pieces into my favor. And I don't necessarily mean in manipulation or evil, tyrannical ways, but if you're not going to play the game, I guarantee you other people are. In order to embrace life as warfare, we got to start strategizing in our favor. What can I do today to become a more valuable asset in this world? What can I do today to separate myself from the mass population that embraces and adopts the idiotic narratives that are imposed and poured upon them? I'm going to separate myself. I'm not going to fall victim to that, oh, I just want Saturday morning cartoon mentality. Life's hard. It's time to get harder. And I'm the first to admit that I've fallen victim to that. I just want to be home. I just want it to be easy. I just want it to be comfortable. We have to throw that out, man, because we've experienced enough hardships. We've experienced enough deception that we know life is not easy. It can be hard. There are those rainy and gloomy days, and we have to be able to endure those so that we can actually enjoy the sun-filled days. That's life. Our mentality has been stuck in that comfort, that wanting to be home. But if you're stuck in the confines of your home, you never go out into the unknown where we can actually begin to create and see greater things than Garfield, greater things than Ninja Turtles, greater things than Chips Ahoy cookies. There's so much more to experience at that. But it comes with the cost of hardships. It comes with the cost of struggles. It comes with the cost of getting to know you. But every great warrior story, every great heroic story, man, he's got to go into the darkness before he actually even knows who the hell he is. And then he goes on that arduous battle and fights and defeats some enemies and even gets some cuts and scrapes and blood, some losses. The long march to victory, man, that sounds great. But it comes with some defeats. It comes with some retreats where we got together ourselves, regroup, think, recourse, and then go on the path that we know is going to work for us in that moment. And again, that's going to come with some rainy and gloomy days as well. But it makes all the sunny days more enjoyable. It makes us all the more prepared for what lies ahead or for the possibilities of what lies ahead. And that's the name of the game. I'd rather be more prepared than unprepared. It reminds me of that saying. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Life is a warfare. Be prepared. Recognize that it's a long journey from what we experienced as a kid. We've got to grow up and get out of that mentality and accept life's hard. I'm going to get harder. Life's a warfare. I'm going to be a warrior. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next episode.